Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Well, it's not really what I wanted to do. That's what I get for trying to do this on mobile. Which means I need to flip this. This is going to be disorienting. All right. Really didn't want to do this vertical, but you know what? Whatever. It's all good. It's all good. This is just different. Trying new things. Trying new things. Yeah. No one's here at the moment, but this is going to get archived, so I might as well talk a little bit. Basically, this is, in my last video, this is the guitar that I introduced at the tail end, saying that I got this from work. And it needs a fret level, it needs some TLC. So I just thought I would get on a live stream and do some work on it. So let's just get started. I know I'm going to need to be able to access the truss rod, so let's go ahead and pull that out. Or get the cover off anyway. And I need something to put parts in. See, I think I'm also going to work on those thread ends a little. Let's tape off around here. And I need thread end files. All right, we'll work on doing some rounding first. Don't need to do a whole lot, just kind of rounding those off a little bit. Make those ends feel nice and smooth. And then I'll make this much more playable. Okay. Yeah, that feels good. We'll hit that again towards the end there. Flip this over, get the other side. The main point of this is just to take off any burrs that might be forming from that wood shrinking back. Okay. Feeling it catching quite a bit, but I think we just about got those ends in a good spot. All right, now with that done, let's go ahead and pull those strings all the way off. I don't know, these strings actually feel like they're in decent shape. I'm tempted to keep them. Yeah. They'll be all right. Whoa. Alright, we got strings loosened. I'm not seeing. Hey, we actually got some people on. What's happening, y'all? This is an experiment with the going live and using my cell phone over here. So I'm not necessarily, I don't know what I'm seeing and what I'm not seeing. But yeah, just doing a setup on this guitar, about to do a fret level. Trying to keep the strings intact. But I hope everyone's doing all right today. So one of the things that I can do to kind of help keep these strings saved. So I've got it taped up here, and I'm kind of using the bridge, the saddles, to kind of spread those apart, and I can take a piece of painter's tape, hold those back like that. Now, before I can level my frets, first thing I got to do is I got to make sure that my neck is straight. There's a couple different ways I've learned to do that. Click, bang. So one of the first methods I learned was to just kind of take my leveling beam and get it on here and find my Allen key and just kind of start tightening it up until I can feel it start to rock back and forth. Now I've also got this notch straight edge. How's that? See right there? Now I'm getting that rocking, which tells me I've kind of gone a little more than straight. I'm going to back that off a little bit. But the challenge with doing it that way is you're really feeling the tops of the frets. You're not really checking the deck itself. So this is where your notch straight edge comes in. You find, there we go, there's our right scale length. And you're checking to make sure that you're not getting any gaps. And seeing just a tiny, tiny bit of a gap in the middle, which tells me I can tighten it up just a touch. Not a lot, because then we'll get over tightened, but okay. That should be about good. Oh, okay. Next step is I need to mark all my frets. So I got this fret shield from Music Nomad. This thing works great, just for making a lot of these things easier. You don't necessarily need the fret shield when you've got this kind of fingerboard. It makes it a lot easier when you're working on a maple fingerboard. But for stuff like being able to quickly mark the tops of your frets without having to tape your fingerboard off or worry about getting napped on your fingerboard to remove marker stuff, these fret shields are awesome. And going live is weird. Makes me a little bit nervous. I film videos all the time. Don't feel nerves at all. But live is a different animal. Yeah, so we've got our fret tops marked. And so now we can even do an extra double check on whether our neck is straight by taking our leveling beam and doing a quick little mark. And we should see at least kind of evenly. Now this could be just a sign that our frets are really, really, really unlevel. And we know these frets aren't level exactly, so we're anticipating there being some low spots, but this should give us at least an indicator when we're seeing things, at least some marks in the middle, some marks at the ends, and some even distribution. All right, so now we just take our fret level. Yeah, you can see there's low spot here, low spot here, low spot here, low spot here, here. This thing needs some TLC bad. So I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm trying to maintain the fret radius so I don't have to re-radius this thing. So I'm just following that radius back and forth, trying to get that marker knocked off the top of all the frets. And we're gonna do a two-plane fret level. So we're gonna have this plane going all the way across, and we're gonna have another plane kind of this way. You'll see that when we get to it. Now we're getting kind of closer. I'm going to switch, start working this way. And honestly, I'm not even worried about getting everything all the way leveled up to the 22nd fret. Because I'm going to be doing more than one plane, I'm really just trying to make sure that I get everything up to fret 11, fret 12. Kind of cleaned up, and then from there, when I start doing the second plane, that's going to create the fall away and get everything nice and level the way we need. Down ladder. What are we doing? Man, it's still got some low spots. You don't want to take off too much fret material. You only want to do minimum amount. So I think if I adjust my truss rod a little bit more, because I'm seeing them getting a lot more wear on the ends than I am in the middle. So if I bring that decrease in neck relief a little bit more, that should even this up where I can get this level without taking off too much more fret material. Almost. We're pretty much good up to fret 11, but we've got a little low spot right over here. That's a very low spot. Oh. My leveling beam's getting kind of gunked up. Let's clean that off. I'm using a pretty high grit on this, which downsides, it takes a little bit longer. Upsides, you can get it really nice and clean and just the right amount of fret material taken off. We're getting there. Repetitive motions. But I'm seeing that black clear away. There's a little line of metal showing that's just stretching on down the more I work on this. Almost there. Almost there. Come on. Let's rotate this around. Clean that off a little bit. Just got this little bitty stretch left here that's just low. No wonder I was getting bad fret buzz on this thing. Haha, watch for slips. Tempted to get a strip of higher grit sandpaper on this. It's just so close. I'm seeing the little line start stretching out here, but this little thing just dips down quite a bit. Starting to see it getting clear on the very end. I don't want to over level, but I want to make sure I get that taken care of because that's definitely a problem spot. And we've got a line. Good deal. Whew. All right, so that's enough for that one. Let me get out my short beam. Dust this off. Let's get the fret shield out again. Remark these. Okay, I'll do that one more time here in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to work on doing the second plane. So we've already kind of got things relatively leveled up to the 12th fret. And so now, working at like the 11th, sometimes I'll go back to the 10th. I'll usually start at the 11th fret and working this section independently. We're then going to create some fall away so that after we get our neck relief dialed in, it's gonna, the fret wire is actually going to kind of be coming back this way to allow string passage, which is going to help for low action. All right, so let's start here. Take a look. Okay, yeah, we've got some low spots here at where are we at 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm not really worried about low spots up here at 21 and 22 because I'm actually going to do a third plane at that point anyway. Still a little spot there. Get in there. About to lose my hydrate and super glue. I've already lost the lacquer. most of those low spots are gone. It's just that one, kind of like on the first half, where there's that one pesky low spot. Now I got one pesky low spot up here. Luckily, these frets still had a lot of fret material on them when I started, so I shouldn't be losing too awful much. They're definitely going to feel more like mediums than medium jumbos, but I'm starting to get a little bit more and those two lines to meet in the middle. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Almost there. You know what, at this point, I can do that. That'll help. And we got a line. Yep, there's a reason. There's a reason. I had to work on this. There we go. Alright, so the last one, the last plane I'm going to work on, I'm really not even going to worry about remarking those, because I'm just going to be working on the last two frets. I don't have one that's short enough to do just the last three. I can do the last two. But I'm really just working on getting those last two frets a little lower. Just for a little extra string clearance, it's going to help the action get even lower with maximum playability. Slips happen, which is why we tape everything off. Tape it off, tape it off, tape it off. Okay. All right, cool. I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. So, dust that off a little bit more. Get our fret shield out. Remark these tops one last time, and then we can start with the recrowning. Oh, joy! Okay. And I've got a couple different recrowning files. And oddly enough, I've got a set of StuMac ones that are, they're in a toolbox, for specific fret sizes. Oddly enough, this cheap Amazon one, a Baroque diamond file. I wish it had more curvature to the handle to make it easier to get into some of these spots, but cut-wise, this is the one that I like a little bit more than those regular StewMac ones. A couple of techs I worked with, Kevin and Willie, they like ones that it's got a round wooden handle and just a metal stick, and then there's a metal file that's replaceable. And they swear by them. I need to sit to this. Okay. So I need my medium side. So this, probably can't see it on the camera, but my goal is to just get a solid thin line. Well, not a solid thin line, but one, instead of having this big fat marker, have one thin strip of marker evenly from one end of the fret to the other. And I'm already wearing through a marker at this end. So now I just need to focus over here. And while I'm doing this, I'll kind of go up over the edge, and that can actually be a little bit of extra fret rounding. In fact, I know some technicians who don't really use these little rounding files. They'll just use a fret crowning file and get down here and kind of rotate on the end in order to round their frets. Come on. There it is. Okay. Just get a couple spots that are a little bit wider than I want them. Almost. Okay. Come back this way. And this is where that angled handle can really come in handy. I've been curious about the Music Nomad safe file things where it's got that strip down the middle, so it is impossible to overfile with them. We've got one at work, but I haven't gotten to use it yet. Boss man has. He said it worked really good. I've got plenty on the QC shelf that need a fret level, one of which being one of the vintage 30th anniversary double cuts. I got to get that one done sooner rather than later. And I hope my audio is at least livable. I know can't be great. But this was rather impromptu. I just threw up a phone, decided to give this a shot. So we shall see on playback. Some of these took away quite a bit of fret material. Let me get an angle over here. Now we can start getting just one side. Long and tedious process, but sometimes it just needs to be done. Which is why people like me make money doing this. Oh. Guitar tech's elbow, is that a thing? Oh. Oh. But good news is we're halfway there. We're halfway there. Getting these things recrowned, and then I can polish them up and treat the fingerboard and make this thing look and feel oh so pretty. Oh. Careful, Mateo. Do not overfile. We want to recrown, but we don't want to lose our leveling. And these towards the middle are going a little faster. Spot right there. Oy. Come on. Man, see, this one's getting to be a weird thing because we're already losing our mark right there in the middle and right there at the end. We've got an extra wide spot right there. So I have to be careful. Try to work that away. All right, let's get in there. A little bit more. Yeah, okay, I can live with that. I have to stand up for these last few. I noticed when I was leveling, a lot of these were really getting filed down. So this these last few might be a bit of a booger, at least on this high end. Come on. There we go. Last one. Yay. And there was much rejoicing. Yay. Cool. Go over these one more time. Let's see. Cool. Think we got a decent crown. I'll take it. Now I've got a bit of a decision to make, which is really just whether or not I want to put the fret shield on here when I start polishing. With the fret shield, there's going to be far less gunk and mess getting into the fingerboard wood itself. But I'm also going to have the chance to kind of sand that wood back a little bit and give it maybe a little bit of a softer feel, which it feels fine. It could be maybe a little smoother, but nothing to sneeze at. With a maple fingerboard, you definitely want to tape off or use a fret shield or something, because otherwise you'll straight up heavily damage your fingerboard. But with these rosewood, Indian laurel, composite, whatever it is, you can use naphtha to get that stuff off. So it's not that big of an issue. But you know what? Let's just go ahead. Better safe than sorry, right? We'll go ahead. I'm not in a rush. If I was in a rush, then I could get by with, you know, not covering it up. Just wiping it off with naphtha to get it clean. But I'm here. We're live streaming. We're hanging out, working on guitars. So why not just take some extra precautions? And even with those rubber bands holding it into place, I like to get an extra little strip of painter's tape, put it right over here over the end, and kind of keeps it from wobbling back and forth. All right, and then I'm going to start polishing with 800 grit sandpaper. And I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go the other way. 2 frets at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, put that in here upside down so I can use it again for another guitar. And now I'm going to move on up to some Scotch-Brite pads. I've got 2 different grits. I've got the gray and the white. I don't remember exactly what grits those are supposed to be. But the gray is the coarser. And using these I've found to be a little bit better than sandpaper at getting the Sharpie marks and all that stuff off. So you could get by with just doing the sandpaper, but especially if you don't have the fret shield on there, these are really good at getting all the extra marks and all that stuff off of here. But the downside is the ends of the frets can catch those fibers, so that can be a bit of a pain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Okay. Move on up to our white pad. Alright, now I'm done with my 3M pads. I'll just pick guard. So now I'm going to move up to next grit of sandpaper, which is either 1000 grit, 1500 grit. And this is honestly where you could probably get by with stopping. I'll go up a little bit higher, but 1000 grit or 1500 is usually good enough that it'll feel very smooth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Okay, my 1.5K. I'm gonna go up even higher. I'm gonna go up to 2K and then 3K just for the sake of it, because it's my guitar and I can make it extra smooth. Okay, 2K. Let's do some 3K, because we can. Which is totally superfluous. I'll add again. Okay. So at that point, normally I would just say we're done. That these frets are adequately polished and there's no need to go further. Because there isn't. It's perfectly fine. But just for the sake of things, I want to talk a little bit about safety subject. If I can find where did I put the buffing pad? Right here. Okay. So in professional shops, oftentimes they'll have a big freaking buffing wheel that it would be spinning at high RPMs, and you take your guitar and you just and buff the crap out of those frets, get them nice and shiny. I've also seen people with a rotary Dremel tool going over each individual fret, and that can also work to get them really super shiny. But another method is to have a buffing wheel that attaches to a screwdriver. But if you're going to do this, there are safety precautions that need to be taken. It can be very dangerous. If you don't do this the right way, the fibers of this can catch underneath those frets and rip them out. So you've got to take a very specific method. So I'm going to put a touch of swirl remover on here just to demonstrate. Like I said, it doesn't really need it at this point, but come on. Out. Just a little bit. Don't need a lot. And I'm going to kind of get that all on my frets. Now when I turn on my drill, I'm going to use directionality to make sure that it's spinning in a way that it's not going to catch, right? So if I've got it in forward, it's going to be rotating clockwise, which means that I need to be on the low side of the fretboard. And so long as I stay on the low side of the fretboard, it's going to be rubbing there, but it's not going to be over here where it can actually catch the lip. As it's rotating and catching the end of the fret, it's just going to be rolling off the line there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and now to do the other side of the fretboard, we're going to put the drill in reverse, spinning the other way, so then we can come on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now those frets should be extra polished. Put the drill down, move our tape. Pull off the rubber bands. Get this all the way off, and I'll put those back in the twist tie, keep them all together. shiny frets. Shiny, shiny, shiny frets. Okay. So now the next step is fingerboard cleaning and conditioning. So there's a lot of stuff on here. I'm going to take the tape I had holding those strings down up there off so I can get access all the way up to the fingerboard near the nut. I've got, let's see if I still have it. I might be out. Yeah, I'm out of the fingerboard cleaner and conditioner. But that's okay. We've got a handy dandy substance called naphtha. So what I just need is a shop towel and a bottle of Zippo lighter fluid. Yeah, lighter fluid on a wooden instrument. Doesn't that sound like a perfect combination? But it works. It is great for pulling grime and grit and sorts of stuff out of here. Put a little bit on a shop towel. Over there. Get all that stuff off. Yeah, you can see, look at all that dirt and grime and gross crap coming off of here. This process did spread some of those finish cracks. That's all right. I can feel that that process did also increase our, it caused our frets to sprout a little bit. But we'll knock those back here in a little bit. Okay, so we've got our fingerboard cleaned. Put that towel over there. And these look to be new. I'm going to put on a little bit of hydrate. So it's fingerboard oil. This is Diodario stuff. We use this at work, so I started using it here. I'm just going to give that wood some love. A little bit of oil, a little lubrication. It's already starting to look much, much better. But I like really dark fingerboards. So let that soak for just a sec. And then I'm going to go a step further with some fingerboard relicing wax. This stuff will keep basically the same shop towel in here. You just get a little bit and you rub it on your fingerboard. It's going to look kind of messy, but it's going to look so nice and pretty and dark. Once we get done with it. I should have put some music pumping out of the studio monitors while I did this. I didn't think about that until just now. Yeah. Maybe next time. Okay. All right. So that applies our fingerboard wax. It's starting to get hot in this room. My glasses are falling down. So, put fingerboard wax away. And then we'll give that just a little bit. We're going to try and let that relic wax kind of set in. The longer we let it sit, then the darker it'll get. Sometimes to get a really good dark fingerboard, it takes a few applications, but it gets there. Right. I don't know if y'all can see this in the camera, but that looks significantly more butamus. Yeah, buddy. Oof. Yeah, those frets feel good. That fingerboard feels super soft. Exactly what I wanted. All right. I need to clean this headstock. Blech. All that filing and all that stuff. Put lots of stuff up here. Clean, clean, clean. Okay. So now with that done, take that tape off. A little bit of cleaning to these pickups. I'm going to replace them, so it's not that big a deal, but put our strings back in place. And we need a string winder. Feel that. That feels a lot better. A lot better. Okay, so with that done, let's go over these fret ends one more time to knock back what sprout we got. During the leveling process. Yeah, that feels better. Let's get the other side. Look at that guitar. Isn't that a beaut? Let's see. actually. I might need to go with the dressing file again. Let's hit this other side with the dressing file one last time. Hey, and if the bosses at RBI ever ask why it's taking so long to do an artist guitar, I can just show them this live stream. Because it's a lot of work. Right, and so let's increase our neck relief just a touch and take this tape off. And now we can start making some noise and doing a setup. So let's see how I want to do this. Where's my, let's see, there's this one, and then let me get a chord. That was a drill. Hello, drill. So I'm going to set this up standard tuning. And let's angle this just a touch different. So that we can see what's going on. So I'm going to need that, and I'm going to need, yep, I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that. Where's the right Allen wrench? That one. This doesn't look like the right one. Aha! This is the right one. So this Allen wrench, if I measure it, comes in at 1.51 millimeters, which is about what I want my action set to, which it's almost at. But first, we need to make sure that we get it tuned up, so we're getting string tension on it that's going to have what we're playing. So we're going to tune to E standard, E, A, D, G, B, E. As I like to say, every asshole does good bullshit eventually. So first thing is to check our neck relief. Now, I had gotten our neck as straight as I could during the leveling process, and now I did go ahead and back it off a little bit before even checking. And yep, I got it dialed in just right without hardly even trying. I just got a touch of bounce right there, and that's all I want. Okay, and so now I can take my Allen key, and my action can be lowered just a little bit. It's pretty close already, but okay, on the high side, we're just touching the bottom of that string, but on the low side, we're not quite yet. So, lower that a little more. There you go. Now we're touching the bottom of that string. So let's tune it back up, because that would have, since I lowered the action, that would have lowered the pitch. Second pass, because that first pass changes the tension, pulling on the tailpiece, which unbalances all the strings. So especially with these tunematic ones, you need second pass. This would also be a good opportunity to check intonation. So we're in tune there. We're a little bit flat there. On 3rd fret. Yeah, a little bit flat all the way around. So that means we need to shorten the length of our string. And this one uses a Phillips head. So we need to righty-tighty on this. Yep. Okay. One string intonated correctly. Also flat. Now over time you can get used to seeing, like they usually make a fairly familiar pattern with where the saddles end up relative to each other. So over time you can kind of get used to that. Kind of anticipate where they're going to end up based off of where the first one ends up. Still needs to come forward a little bit. Man, my glasses are just falling down. Don't need a timer on my video, but I do need to know that it is 4:15 and I need to be getting ready to go and pick up a kid from daycare. Touch more. All right. This room is getting way too hot. That's at least within 5 cents. I can live with that for right now. Okay, well that one's actually right. I didn't even have to do anything for the D string. G string needs to come forward a little bit. Okay, yeah, that one's pretty close. Okay. Intonation, intonation, intonation. I'm going to see if I can guesstimate where these sounds need to be based off the relative position to the first setting. Or that one should be about right. Pretty close. All right, well, let's plug her in and see what we got. Let's see, actually. Just a little bit of adjustment there. Okay. There we go. Now those tubes are warming up. controls are still working all right. Keep thinking I'm hearing some fret buzz, but it's really bad finger placement. So I might could raise the action a little bit, or maybe change. You know what? Let's adjust the truss rod just a little bit. Let's tighten that up just a tad. And see if that helps. I'll need to raise the action a touch. Yeah, that's better. I had too much neck relief. Because once I got the frets that leveled, having too much neck relief can actually cause more issues. I think some balancing needs to happen with the two pickups, but I don't want to do that because I'm going to replace the pickups. So that'll be future me's problem. Okay. Well, I think that is a pretty good setup for now. And I'll film a little bit with this, going through some different tones with the stock pickups, and maybe release a video on that, and then come back. And maybe we can do another of these live streams where I change out the electronics. Got some different things I'm thinking about as far as push-pulls. So if y'all have any ideas or suggestions, let me know. But that is the V100MGHB and what it looks like with all the fretwork really dialed in. You can take any of these budget guitars and make them really, really nice. But I'm going to put that truss rod cover back on and go pick up my kiddo. So thanks to everyone who stopped in and checked stuff out, said hi. And yeah, we'll see you next time around. Where's the stop button? Yeah.